Yo, and what is going on YouTube, and welcome back for another Oathbreaker Deck Tech. Now guys, if you are interested in the format, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you are new to the channel. If you are interested in our 501c3 charity MagiKids, make sure to check out those links in the description below. But let's jump right on into this video. Now, Tibalt, the Rakish Instigator, is our Oathbreaker of choice, paired with his signature spell of Blasphemous Act. Now, Tibalt enters the battlefield for 2 and a red with 5 loyalty. His static ability, your opponents cannot gain life, and his -2 creates a 1/1 red devil creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. Now, Blasphemous Act, his signature spell, for 8 and a red, a sorcery. It deals 13 damage to each creature on the battlefield, but it actually costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. So you can see we're rarely ever going to be casting this for full cost. Now, we have a lot to talk about with this deck, but the first is actually going to be the OG Tibalt the Fiend-Blooded. For 2 red, his +1 ability draws a card, then discards a card at random. And in some alternate universe where we get to -6 with Tibalt, we get to gain control of all creatures until the end of turn, untap them, they gain haste, and we just get to go to attack. Now guys, the primary goal of this deck is just to continuously cast wild and crazy board wipes to keep the board clear and deal incidental damage to each opponent while we pick away at our opponent's life totals with the other creatures that we kind of get on the battlefield. And we're really going to be the most pestering deck at the table. For Tibalt, he gets back down and he just gets back up again. He just keeps coming over and over and over. It's a super fun deck to play. But guys, our first package is actually going to be our own creatures. And because the incidental damage really isn't enough, we need to have other creatures just to kind of go to beats, ping the opponents down to 0, but on the lower end of our mana curve, we're going to have creatures like the Grim Lavamancer and the Bomat Courier. I don't know if these creatures really need any sort of introduction. Then we'll roll into our creatures from hell, and these are going to be all of our hasty creatures: Earthshaker Kenra, Hellspark Elemental, Hell's Thunder, Ball Lightning. For 3 red, a 6/1 trample haster. At the beginning of the end step, we get to just sacrifice Ball Lightning. Can you imagine just laying this and hitting someone for 6 on turn 3? I think that's absolutely fantastic. Another super fun card in this deck is going to be Firecat Blitz. For X red, we get to put X 1/1 red creature, cat creature tokens with haste into play. And this is just another way to kind of go to beats. It's just absolutely awesome that it's fiery cats. One of the fun parts of playing this deck actually is going to be playing off the top of our deck. Stormkirk Oculist, whenever it deals damage to an opponent, we can play the top card off of our library. Countryside Crusher, we get to exile lands off the top of our library for additional 1/1 counters. Another fun part of this deck, and it actually is really synergistic to the board wipes, is Hostility. With all of the board wipes that we're playing that deal damage to the creatures on the battlefield, Hostility is going to prevent that damage and then put a 3/1 red Elemental Shaman creature token with haste onto the battlefield for each 1 damage that it prevented. Imagine this on the back of a Blasphemous Act. Now we do also have additional creatures here that we do need to do that are really good for that incidental damage that we need to deal. One thing I touched on earlier is that my sideboard oftentimes acts as my second hand, and you'll notice a lot of creatures have the Unearth ability, and that allows us to replay these cards from our graveyard and just get them out for one more go of it. It gives them haste, and then after that they would leave play. Now, a package that runs parallel to this deck is board wipes, dealing damage to all the creatures on the board. We're just really going to clear the way for all of our hasty creatures. With cards like Fiery Cannonade, Anger of the Gods, Kindle the Carnage, Rough and Tumble, Rolling Tremblers, and Starstorm, we're really going to be able to clear the way, get our creatures out, and attack. Now, one that runs really close alongside this is actually going to be ones that deal damage to all creatures and players. Cards like Earthquake, Volcanic, Fallout, Breath of Daragaz, and Avacyn's Judgment. Now, this is a way just to deal damage directly to players' faces. If that isn't enough, we also have another package in this deck that is just for targeted removal with cards like Fiery Temper, Geist Flame, Flame Jab, Devil's Play, Alchemist Greeting. These are great ways to just clear the board. Now we're also going to have just some enablers for this deck. Cards like Faithless Looting, where we get to draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. And don't forget, we can recast those unearthed cards from the discard off of the back of this. Past in Flames just gives us additional casts of the cards in our graveyard. We also have Shrine of the Burning Rage. Imagine in a mono red deck, we're just going to be building up all sorts of value on here, and then we can just Thunder Punch someone for a ton of damage. Now guys, that is going to be the end of this Oathbreaker Deck Tech. If you have any videos you'd like to see in the future, make sure to leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to make my way through them. But as always guys, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, because what else are you going to do? I'll catch you guys later.